Hey everybody, this is Featured Elements. My name is Dave. Today we're going to be going through our kitchen island, showing you a little bit about how we did it, some of the products we used, ways we tried to save money, and make it something that we can add to later if we need to via a sink or more electrical options or whatever. So let's break this video down, see what we get into. We've got plumbing in here. We've got a drain and we've got hot and cold supply lines in case we ever decide to opt to put a sink over here. But for right now, that's not what we're going to do. We've got two pieces of conduit that run in here and wire, both on dedicated circuits. One's for the microwave and one will be for receptacles that are in this island. We have to have a couple, three receptacles in this island. But anyway, this is kind of what we're working on, and I kind of wanted to show this. That's the microwave cabinet right there. We have a drawer microwave going in here, and so we've got good access to our power. And we always kind of figured that if we did have a sink, it would probably be a small sink here, and we could take this, basically just a base cabinet, take the drawer out, put the face back on, and we can make this accommodate a small sink. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at. Just felt like this was worth taking a little time and showing. What we're talking about doing is slabbing some Butcherblock up here, and what's available to us is in 4 and 6 foot lengths. So if we do either one, we have support. If we use 4 foot lengths, we've got support here. If we use 6 foot lengths, we got support here. Now out here we're going to have about a foot of overhang and about a foot of overhang. I could actually go about a foot and 4 inches, so a foot and a third each way, and I may do that just to make what I'm using with no waste. But anyway, so this will have the, like I said, this will have the 7/16 chipboard here, and then our finish panels, which are a 1/4 inch thick, will lay on here, cover this side all the way down and all the way to the corner. Then there's a little piece of corner mold that'll go on, along with the other piece that'll do the same thing and cover all the way down here. And then we're going to frame up in this opening right here. We're going to frame up for a cabinet door to be mounted in here. That way we have access to get in there, and we don't have to cut a fresh opening. We'll just have one single cabinet door kind of tucked up under in this area right here probably, and that way you can get in to work on any wiring or plumbing if you decide you want to add something without having to tear the bar apart. So anyway, wanted to share that with you. My framing abilities are limited. I can make it work out, but I'm not a professional framer, as we have all seen. Just try to do the best I can with the ideas that I have. So anyway, that's that, and here's a quick layout of the cabinets as they are right now. This area right here looks a little barren, but there's going to be a range hood in here, and then double shelves like here and here and over here and over here. So there's going to be open shelves there and a range hood eventually. Like I said, this is probably going to be Butcherblock, and this over here is probably going to be Corian or something like that. We've had that before and we really liked it. And then eventually, way on down the road, there's going to be brick veneer in here and up there, and it's going to be painted dark. So I think that's going to be a good look. All these outlets are going to get switched out to black. We went back and forth on it, and I think black's what we're going to go with now. So there's always some kind of change to do. If you're doing this stuff yourself, you have that advantage to be able to do that. And I say advantage because it's a good way to spend more money. When you're doing stuff yourself, you do save some money, but you do spend some more because you kind of have that right to change things, and it's not a big deal. If you're working with a contractor, you got change orders, and they're going, well, this is going to be this or that, and you pay a premium to change. This will be a little desk area here. I've got to trim down this column filler, but just a little, set your keys on it. Set mail on or whatever. Everybody's got to have a collection spot, probably drawers full of stuff that we can never find or never use right in here. But that's where we're at, and that's what we're doing. And so if you're doing it yourself, and you feel like you're saving money, these are the kind of things that eat up that profit, let's say, because you do have the opportunity to make those changes, and you will, and that's okay. Do it the way that you want it and live it out of it. So anyway, we'll follow this along, and we'll show you as we make more progress on this. But it's a large island, and it's going to be our sitting and eating spot. It seems to be a habit that I've gotten into. I like to just sit at the corner of the bar and watch the TV and eat or talk, and not really one for sitting down to a meal at home. So anyway, we'll follow along. We'll see how this comes out. Okay, so I want to take a minute here and show you where I'm at. I've got some chipboard on here as a backing for the veneer, and one piece of that on. I've got my outlet boxes in. I've got them wired. As you can see, I've got your crimp sleeve on there, and everything's bent. So once I get them on, I can just slip the outlets in and have that all caught up. All this is going pretty well. The adhesive that I'm using isn't holding as well as I'd like for it to, immediately, but it'll be good enough. But the important thing was I had a little kick out right here where that was sticking out about an eighth of an inch farther than I wanted it to. So I took a power planer and I planed that down, and then I also trimmed off a little bit of this. The cabinet and the chipboard wasn't exactly flat, so I went ahead and milled that down right quick. Just took a second, but it saves a lot of aggravation when you're trying to get everything glued up there and get it flat. So anyway, kind of wanted to show you that. And here's what the inside of it ended up looking like. When you're doing this, they want you to staple the wires within so many inches of the box so that they don't get pulled or jerked out of the box. And then down here I've got another wire that'll have to go to the microwave when I get to that point. So anyway, just kind of want to take a minute and show you that. But if you do this kind of stuff right here, wipe this down, get it good and clean before you put your adhesive on. Everything will go a lot easier if things aren't getting pushed where they're not supposed to be. So always, as much as I am not a finished carpenter, and I know I'm not, a real finished carpenter or a real cabinet guy would have fixed all this ahead of time. But, sometimes you just don't know what you're getting into. So anyway, just try to fix it, doctor it up to where it makes it as easy on you as possible. So this is the island finished. We have 5 chairs that go down this side, or stools, 4 stools on this side, so we can sit up to 9 people up here at a time. Sometimes the grandkids squeeze one of them in. Here's all the cabinets along this side. We've got dual trash cans here. Here's the drawer microwave. It's made by Sharp. It's worked out pretty well so far. And we've got another trash can on this end. Silverware drawer up here. And this is kind of a unique drawer. It's got more space underneath it. Kind of cool. And all of them are slow close. And then around here is what I was talking about, where we did this access. That's basically just a cabinet door. We ordered separately with our cabinets. It's got little clips on the back. It just kind of clips into place. And that way, if I'm trying to go in and out of it, you know, if you kind of lose your balance going in, you push on it, you'll break it off the hinges. So we made it just so it totally pop off of there. It's an awful big bar top. It's a little over 8 feet wide and just under 12 feet long. It's made out of separate Butcherblock countertops that we bought through one of the box stores. We were able to order them. They were 26 inches wide and 98 inches long. And so we just drilled and doweled and glued them, and then gave a light sanding, and then put our urethane over the top. Probably had $1,100 or $1,200 in this top, and I felt pretty good about that. We wanted something that was different than the rest of the kitchen. We didn't want to have granite everywhere, and then to have a top this size was going to take several pieces. It's going to have seams and be incredibly expensive. We had quotes on this top anywhere from about $6,000 to about $12,000 in granite. Well, that's what we've got over here on the kitchen side. It's great. We really like it a lot. But we wanted something with a little different texture and a little different coloring. So that's why we like the wood over here. And, you know, the price is good. The price helped a lot. A lot of people walk in and go, "Oh my gosh, what were you thinking? Why such a big top?" It doesn't make sense to a lot of people, but it makes sense to me. I like having the family up here and being able to socialize over in the kitchen, getting food ready or putting food out or cleaning up or whatever, and everybody sits up here and really enjoys having it this much size. This is a pretty big room. This is kind of the main focus of the house here in the living room. I'm telling you, as far as an island goes, it's just, to me, it's just hard to go too big when you have a lot of friends and family in, doing a lot of entertaining. So anyway, so I hope you enjoyed the video and you got something out of it. Not trying to show anybody what to do. I'm no expert. I'm just showing you what I did. Hopefully this inspires somebody to do something on their island, in their kitchen, and love to see you back here. If you liked the video, hit that thumbs up, subscribe. Love to see you back again next time. Thanks.